Today we are going to study what is the empirical formula. So by definition we say that empirical formula is a chemical formula showing the simplest ratio of elements in a compound rather than the total number of atoms in a molecule. So for example, by calculation we can now study how we can calculate the empirical formula of the compounds. So for example, on this equation we say that a sample of a compound was found to contain 10 grams of hydrogen and 80 grams of oxygen. Calculate the empirical formula of this compound given that relative atomic mass of hydrogen is 1, relative atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So, by answering this question, we have to identify the first one as elements. Element is the first thing that we have to identify. What are the elements which are in these compounds? So, depending how the question is asked, we have hydrogen and oxygen. So we have to write these elements, hydrogen and oxygen. So the second one is to identify the value in mass, the mass of these atoms which are in the compound. So here we see 10 grams of hydrogen and 80 grams of oxygen. So now we have also to know the relative atomic mass of these atoms. Okay? So for hydrogen, we know that the relative atomic mass is 1 and for oxygen is 16. So, in step number 3, we are going to calculate the number of moles. So, by calculation of number of moles, we have to use the two previous values. For example, mass and the relative atomic mass. So, number of moles is equal to the mass over relative atomic mass. For hydrogen, it is 10 over 1 or 10 divided by 1, which is equal to 10. And for oxygen, it is 80 grams over 16, which is equal to 5. So now we have the moles. So we have also to calculate the smallest ratio. We have to identify the smallest ratio in moles. The smallest ratio here is the ratio of oxygen, which is equal to 5, because the one of hydrogen is equal to 10. So the smallest value is 5. So we calculate also the ratio by making the smallest ratio the denominator of the fraction. So 10 over 5 equals 2 and 5 over 5 equals 1. Okay, so now we will see that hydrogen in these compounds is 2 and oxygen in this compound is 1. So the empirical formula of this compound is hydrogen 2 and oxygen 1. Okay, thank you very much. Continue.